What is up, guys? We are here with the sixth shelf of my action movie collection. Starting off with Columbiana from the writers of Taken. I really enjoyed this movie. Oliver Megaton did a great job directing it. Amazing cast, very gritty. Uh, kind of reminds me of John Wick in a way as far as the level of violence. You know, this, Atomic Blonde, John Wick, Taken, movie, all amazing movies. And this is definitely up there. She does a fantastic job. I would have loved to have seen a sequel to this movie. So 100% worth checking out if you haven't seen it before. Then we have Lawless, another amazing cast. And I was not really expecting a lot out of this movie. But this actually turned out to be really, really good. Tom Hardy and Shia LaBeouf did an amazing job in this movie. So did Gary Oldman and Guy Pearce. I mean, there is like nothing wrong with this movie whatsoever. So very happy to own this one. Then we have The Pelican Brief, which is like a political thriller. Julie Roberts and Denzel Washington do a great job in this movie. Stanley Tucci in this movie as well. I mean, this is one of those old, well, not old, well, I mean, I guess you can say it's old school, but this is the 90s. But this is definitely one of those really good old school Hollywood movies right here. Julie Roberts and Denzel Washington are fantastic. Then we have End of Watch. This movie surprised me on how gritty it was. I mean, it shouldn't surprise me considering David Ayer made it, but it is violent. It is dark. The ending is really dark. I mean, just for the ending alone, this movie is worth watching. Comment down below if you've ever seen this movie before. I'd love to hear your comments on what you thought of the ending of this movie. Then we have Zathura, which is like a sequel to Jumanji with Robin Williams. But I mean, this was good. I enjoyed this. I thought this was going to be really bad. And I'll be honest, I kind of enjoyed this more than I enjoyed Jumanji. I mean, I don't know if there's like a hardcore group of people who believe that or not. But yeah, definitely comment down below on what you thought of this movie for sure. Then we have Journey to the Mysterious Island, a sequel to Journey to the Center of the Earth. The Rock plays Josh Hutcherson's stepdad, as Brendan Fraser didn't return for this movie. This one was okay. Definitely a kid's movie, not, I thought Journey to the Center of the Earth was better. Sequels generally are not, the best. I guess there was supposed to be a third one, but it got shelved. I don't know if it was because of The Rock's busy schedule or because the studio didn't want to make it. But this is an okay movie, good family movie. Then we have True Grit, which is a remake, obviously, of an older movie. I enjoyed this movie. Matt Damon and Jeff Bridges. And, yeah, I mean, the cast for this movie is wow. Yeah, Josh Brolin did well. I mean, worth checking out for sure if you're a fan of the original. I personally have never seen the original, but from what I've heard, people consider it to be a classic. So, but yeah, this one is not bad at all. I'm very happy with this movie. Oh, we have a stick in here. Then we have Apocalypse Now, the Redux version. Now, a lot of people consider this to be a classic, and I know this is going to be counter to that. I was not really impressed with this movie. I thought it was really long and really slow. There were certain parts of this movie I did enjoy. The parts with Robert Duvall on the beach is probably, especially considering the time it was filmed, looked amazing. And I'm betting that's where the majority of the budget of this movie was. But I mean, that scene had me hooked. The let's go surfing while they're getting attacked or whatever. And but the rest of it was just wow. I almost fell asleep a few times during this movie. You know, sorry for all you hardcore Apocalypse Now fans. Then we have 48 Hours with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy. Definitely considered a classic buddy cop kind of 80s action movie. Fun movie, 100% worth watching if you haven't seen it before. You know, I go to it every once in a while just to check it out again, you know. Then, of course, if you have 48 Hours, you gotta have another 48 Hours. These two just work so well together. Their on-screen chemistry is really good. And I'm not really a big Nick Nolte fan either, so that's saying quite a bit there. But yeah, I love these old school 80s action movies. Then we have A Bridge Too Far. I picked this up at a pawn shop last year. I'm not a huge fan of all these older action movies, but it was one of those, you know, goals I wanted to accomplish was to watch some older movies and see maybe if I'm missing something. And this movie's fantastic. This was great. A lot of big stars in it too. I mean, young big stars: Sean Connery, Elliot Gould, Gene Hackman, Anthony Hopkins. I mean, it's just wow. And they have a lot of screen time in this movie too. It's not like where they just showed up for a couple seconds or anything. The one scene that sticks out in this movie too is the guy waving the white flag on the bridge, the Nazis wanting them to surrender, and they're just like, we can't take your surrender to the Germans. We don't have enough room to hold that many prisoners. I was like, that just had me on the floor. Then we go to another older movie that I hadn't seen before that I also picked up at a pawn shop that a lot of people consider to be a classic, The Untouchables. I actually really enjoyed this movie. Unlike Apocalypse Now, this I would 100% consider to be a classic right here. Really, really good movie. Great gangster movie. Robert De Niro, even though he has a small part, does a great job. So does Kevin Costner and Sean Connery. 100% worth checking out for the younger generation if you haven't seen it before. Then we have Rush. Another great racing movie. Looked amazing. Ron Howard does a great job directing movies. And this is no exception. Interesting story. Great visuals. I'm sure it looks even better on Blu-ray and 4K. But I mean, this is just an amazing looking movie. Then we have Wicker Park with Josh Hartnett. One of those you don't know what's going on to the very end of the movie type of movies. And I'm not a Josh Hartnett fan really at all. But this movie was really, really good. One of those things that kind of jumps up and surprises you. Gotta love those types of movies though. Those sometimes are usually the best ones. Then we have The 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas. Solid watch. Interesting. You know, one of John McTiernan's last movies before going into hiatus, I guess you can say. I know he did Rollerball after this, but that one was... You almost want to kind of forget about that. But yeah, pretty solid watch here if you like these types of movies. Then we have The Eagle with Channing Tatum and Jamie Bell. This one was okay. It wasn't horrible. Definitely interesting story. Different take on kind of like those ancient war setting movies. Definitely more cheaply done, but because of the story, they were able to get away with a lower budget. So, I mean, really well done. Great cast. More of a political type of movie in ancient times. Then we have a B action movie that surprised me, The Hit List, with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Cole Hauser. This is a very, very good straight-to-DVD action movie. I mean, just the premise of what's going on, why people's motivations, and just, you know, write down a list of people you don't like, I'll take them out for free kind of thing. And then when it actually starts happening, trying to stop it. I mean, just a great movie. 100% worth checking out, especially if you're an old school action fan movie. Or an old school action movie fan, I should say. Then we have The Miracle at Santa Ana. This was a solid movie. I enjoyed this movie. It was slow at the beginning, but the story was really good. I was very impressed with this movie, and I really enjoy the cast. Spike Lee did a phenomenal job with this. Check this out if you haven't seen it before. 100% recommend it. And then we got another war movie that surprised me as well, and that's Red Tails. I mean, this looked phenomenal on the screen. The story was great. The cast was even better. I mean, wow. Yeah, definitely wow. I'm going to have to upgrade this one. Then we have Fatale with Hilary Swank and Michael Ealy. Michael Ealy is a great underrated actor. And this movie is fantastic just as far as what's going on. You know, you don't know, well, I mean, it's kind of like a dark kind of erotic thriller, I guess you can say. I don't want to ruin it for you because there's a lot of twists and turns in this movie, but 100% worth checking out. Hilary Swank does a fantastic job in this movie. Then we have The Yards with Mark Wahlberg. Solid watch as well. You know, people trying to go legit. Well, I should say the son trying to go legit, but getting dragged back into the family business because of his brother. Yep. Great cast, though. Wow. An amazing cast in that movie. Then we have Haywire, which has another absolutely amazing cast. But it was slow moving. This one was kind of let down for me. I was expecting big things out of this movie, and you watch it and you wait, and it just never shows up. Because I am a fan of Gina Carano as an actress, but I don't know, something about this movie it just dragged. Then we have Arbitrage with Richard Gere. Interesting movie as well. You know, Richard Gere back in top form here, even though I don't think this was really in the theaters. But yeah, this is worth checking out. It is kind of like the dark side of business and a person trying to save his financial future and all that type of stuff and what he's willing to do it. I mean, it's an interesting watch for sure. And then lastly, we have 47 Ronin with Keanu Reeves. Visually, it looks amazing. Movie-wise, not so amazing. Not Keanu Reeves' best work by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know. This was a big budget thing. I know it was known for going over budget by a lot. I don't know if this was like a Keanu Reeves passion project or if he just wanted to play a samurai or what this was. But yeah, 100% not his best work. I'd only check this out if you can find it free somewhere on a streaming service. But that does it for this shelf. If you like content like this, please like and subscribe. Your support is much appreciated. I'm also over on Letterboxd. The link to that is over in the profile section of this channel. Otherwise, until next time, guys, have a good one.